Lore Boys here. The internet's number one Hasbro shill podcast is back with more of what you need. My name is Peter O'Donohue, and I was a lucky find in a pile of other toys. Joining me today is
Optimus James. What's up, everybody?
what? Optimum Prime. Yeah. And then, yes, just Jamie and I. So, friend of the show, Baby, had a Bobby, and our intrepid Ethan is over at his place, keeping an eye on the little tyke while Bobby tries autoerotic asphyxiation. So, boys supporting boys, as you know. Yeah. So today's episode focusing on the the main two villains rather, of Transformers Generation 2 was requested by Robin and specifically by Shockwave follower. They'd asked for more lore from the Marvel comic run of the Transformers by Simon Furman and Bob Budiansky. It was also inspired by these two figures over here that I have on my desk of G-Axis and the Liege Maximo, which I got this guy this weekend, and this guy was in just a pile of toys. I did like back when I was like collecting, like catching up to collecting with old figures. Of course, now I buy new stuff because I got everything old now. I would buy like big batches of toys because some people sell you 15 toys for $60 and you just resell everything for $10, make a bunch of money back. G-Axis, this white and yellow guy, was in the pile, and I was just like, who the fuck is this? And the guy was like, oh, it's G-Axis, he's from the comics. I was like, okay. Listed on Facebook Marketplace. No one bought it. It was the last one I had left for after reselling everything. I don't even remember if I kept anything from that batch, honestly. I don't remember why I picked up that box, but whatever. And then in the end, I just kind of started fiddling with it because it was just in storage. I started feeling, I was like, honestly, it's a really, like, there's pictures of him you'll see later. I was like, what a cool design. He's like really posable. He transformed into this weird jet. And then with the new series coming out where they're releasing the 13 Transformer gods, the 13 primes, Liege Maximo, the green guy, the big green guy, this kind of like ogre-looking fella,
Yeah, with the Diablo
he has been
horns.
redesigned into one of the Transformers gods, which we'll talk about later. But this specific design is like a ancient villain from the comics, which I think is really cool.
Huh.
They didn't take the new design; they took the old design from the '80s, and then updated it to be like this giant like ogre thing. And
Yeah,
he never transforms in the comics, but the toy turns into like a spaceship from the Michael Bay movies, which they don't make toys of. So I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then, yeah, I mean, my health is bad, but my finances are good. And I was just like, I deserve a toy. Why not? It's been a while. I'm still waiting for my big T-Rex to come out in June. I've got months to save up money. I'll get myself a little green guy. Why not?
yeah. You mentioned it's very posable. I didn't realize that there's like so much guidelines to. Someone was showing their like Gunpla in the Discord server. I think Steely Dan, and like you have to tilt the head down. The knees should be slightly, or the arms should be slightly bent. The feet should be down and like slightly out. And like there's all these guidelines into like how you pose them, and people take it very seriously, these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very fun. Like a figure that is posable is just more fun to play with because you can kind of get it to do a lot of things. Like one of the cool things about I don't understand the logic behind it. This is all going to be for YouTube audience. I'm sorry that I'm showing off figurines nobody can see.
Yeah,
One of the things that like some figures have is hands that can open and close like
right.
this.
I can
And like
imagine
the
it.
newer ones all really do have opening hands, but it used to be rare because this toy's from a couple years ago. And it really does make a big difference. It's very, very neat.
Just googling transformer with hands that can hold a 3-inch cylinder.
Yeah, it's a 5 millimeter peg is the universal size actually.
Yeah.
I'll send some photos to the YouTube sweatshop we've opened in the UK for those who are subscribed to the channel, because the camera's not that good. But yeah, I've got Legacy G-Axis and then Age of the Primes Liege Maximo for those who are interested. My buddy Dean is where I got Liege Maximo. He's got friends and family in China, and I checked when Liege Maximo was supposed to be shipping, and it's like August, and he got it already, and I bought it from him on Saturday.
Nice.
So that's, yeah, way out, way out. He had told me he was going to get me my T-Rex early, and I was like, sure, man, whatever. Then this thing's already there. I'm like, oh, wait, this man might actually be onto something here. Visa-free travel to Canada now, so thanks to visa-free travel to China now, actually, with Mark's Carnage. So maybe I'll just go pick it up myself, honestly. So if you'd like to submit a request, just like Shockwave follower and Robin did, you can head over to the Discord linked below. If you want to throw your weight around a little bit, you can join the Patreon, just like Melsha did earlier this week. Thank you and welcome. Also, big just like general shout out. I was sick when I was writing this and like kind of lovey dovey. I just want to shout out like thanks to everybody who's been supporting the show. We've been doing this for like 9 years now. It's been so nice that everybody's been like so consistent. It's a really nice little thing to have in the background that we get to do with each other every week. My health is not always keeping up with the fucking show, but it's always nice. Anyway, so Jamie, other than the magic cards that Honest Don picked up for me, how much do you know about Transformers now? I rarely talk about it on the podcast. It's very much like an in-person hobby that I have.
I know about the Autobots and
Yeah.
the Decepticons.
Yeah.
So the good guys, bad guys. There's something called the Allspark, which
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
is. Oh, you told me this a long time ago. It came from like a distant alien world. It had something to do with why Transformers are Transformers, but I don't remember exactly. But
Yeah. The Allspark is like a relic that like gives Transformers life, and it
okay.
can transform human technology and instantly bring them to life as a Transformer.
Okay, right.
Have you seen the movies? Like the movies came out when we were in high school. Did you see any of the live action films?
Of course, I was a teenager whenever Megan Fox bent over the front of that hood, and
Right.
it's burnt
Yeah.
into all of our memories at
Yeah.
that age.
I saw such a funny fucking post where it's just like, this movie's great. The first half hour, all you have is sweaty Megan Fox. And then for 2 hours after that, it's the coolest shit you've ever seen. I'm like, hell yeah, actually. It is pretty good.
Yeah, I saw the first one like ages ago, and then I think I even saw the one with the Allspark in it because I have like a memory of the Allspark being.
It's the
in,
first
like,
one.
Oh, that is the first one still.
Yeah.
Maybe I
Yeah.
only saw the first one then.
Yeah. Yes, I rewatched, I have I have 4 of them. And I rewatched the first one with Emily, with my girlfriend recently. And it holds up. Like, I always have a good time when I get to rewatch that one. Then it comes time to watch the second one. I'm like, look, I'm not a huge fan of this movie. Do you want to watch it to complete the trilogy? Or do you want me to just explain why Megatron is in Africa in the third film? And she's just like, we'll watch it at some point. I'm like, okay. For the record, he's in Africa because that's where he is at the end of the second one. Like that's the only fucking important thing you need to know that happens in the second film. That's like
It's
nothing
the
else.
ritual. It's the ritual at Pete's place is where you watch Transformers, and then you go to the bedroom where all the Transformers watch you.
It is is the inverse, actually.
Okay.
But yes, it is exactly that. Yeah. Yes. I have my little cut case full of tiny plastic eyes. Are you sure this is okay, Soundwave? Yes. I'm okay with this. Okay. I'm playing with cassette tape. So yeah, Transformers is something I've always loved. I'm sure I've mentioned it in the past. The first thing I ever bought with my own money were 2 Beast Wars Transformers. I was an extra in a movie when I was 6 years old when I moved to Montreal. It was called Affliction with Nick Nolte, and I bought T-Rex Megatron and Scorpion Scorponok at the Toys R Us, which has since closed, unfortunately, out in Point Claire. So that's just a deep cut for anybody who is familiar with the island of Montreal. I'm really just I mean, I haven't been to Toys R Us in fucking 20 years, but it just like the fact I saw it close and then the big pet store in that mall also moved. I'm like, damn, dude, like time just keeps on ticking into the future.
There was
or
a
whatever.
future shop. There was a Chapters.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chapters is still there. It's Indigo now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be.
The
So
pet store
books-
moved. So it's not gone, but it's moved, unfortunately. Yeah. So, Transformers, much like Warframe, is a big part of my geek life that I really never carry over to the podcast. So, I'll give a little bit of history here off the rip for anybody new to the podcast or new to Transformers. I do want to contextualize what the story that we're going to be talking about is about here. But Transformers originally are from Japan. The 2 toy lines that were imported by Hasbro were into the Americas were Diaclone and Microchange. This was in the early 80s. Diaclone were primarily planes, trains, and automobiles, whereas Microchange were household objects. Some of the most iconic ones would be cassette player, microscope, and gun. So I do have some photos here for the class. Sorry, I should have prepared myself here. Sick boy. Come on, sick boy. Can you get it up? Here we go. So Soundwave is a cassette player. I don't know what the microscope's name is. And then the OG Megatron was a gun with a trigger penis, which is very interesting.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool with a scope.
Yeah, he was based on. I watched also like a great YouTube channel for like micro like short form videos about Transformers lore, Chris McFeely. I watched a bunch of those this weekend and posted it in the for our patrons. There, you get access to that channel if you've never checked it out. I hate being sick. What the fuck am I gonna say? I don't remember. Damn, dude. Anyway, moving on. Something. Just watch Chris McFeely's video. I can't remember what the fuck I was gonna talk about. So all the toys, whether they were Diaclone or Microchange, they would transform from whatever they were into a robot. And Hasbro, the owners of Magic the Gathering, imported several figures from these two toy lines and then approached Marvel Comics to name these toys and give a little context for the whole thing. So 80s marketing for toys, a lot of that, like G.I. Joe, is just like, I guess toys for boys, I guess, sold better if there was a character and a storyline. So a lot of toys would get a accompanying comic line and or show at the same time to really kind of develop their characters there.
Yeah, it still works that way with a lot of the Magic stuff. We got Ethan talking about it just about every third week, and right then they release it. We didn't talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set though. A little disappointed about that one.
That would be something fun to dive into on the podcast. I've never seen the show, but I've seen the movies where they have like the fucked up animatronics.
Shell,
I
yeah.
love that picture of the like decayed turtle head that's in like a basement in like some fucking studio lot in Hollywood. It's just been sitting there for 40 years. And it's just like,
Yeah,
it's like fucking it's got veneers basically and just like mechanical bits and like foam and shit.
We've been playing Magic online, like on some random website, and it just uses the most up-to-date art for all the cards, although there's like multiple printings, right? And
Right.
like Honest Don has just been like, my immersion, man. I can't look at these turtles eating pizza instead of like the normal, like beautiful Magic art. You know what I mean? It's been
Fair enough.
yeah.
So yeah, Marvel, they got three guys. The writers Denny O'Neil, Jim Shooter, and Bob Budiansky. Incredible names. They wrote the backstories and the kind of context, the history for the original toy line. Bob Budiansky is very much like, at least for the OG up until the Hollywood films came out, he is very much like, he's the lore master of Transformers for a lot of it. A lot of what he made up is and was canon at the time. One of the things I find really funny, he basically named every single character except Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime was named by Denny O'Neil. It's like of all the characters to not have your name on. It's like, oh yeah, I'm the lore master of the Transformers. Yeah, oh yeah, I named all the characters. Well, not Optimus Prime, arguably the most important character in the entire series. I couldn't figure it out, so some other guy did it. And I do have a picture here of Bob Budiansky. Unfortunately, I couldn't find pictures of the other two guys. But yeah, this is...
What's the other ones again?
Denny O'Neil, so like the restaurant.
Oh,
and then Jim
yeah.
Shooter. Excellent.
Right. The sequel to America's classic, the school shooter.
Right. Yes, exactly. So Budiansky is responsible for the vast majority of the... Oh, sorry, I read this already. Transformers went on to be one of the most successful toy brands in human history. It's actually right behind Batman and Spider-Man. And Transformers is actually bigger than Looney Tunes, SpongeBob, Warcraft, and Star Trek, of all fucking things.
Wow. That's surprising.
Yeah. It's been like 45 years.
I would have thought SpongeBob at least, but...
Yeah. No. I mean, respect to SpongeBob. Obviously. R.I.P. Steven Hillenburg, the GOAT. But
I saw,
yeah, it does surprise me.
I saw someone doing like they like do Twitch streams and they do face painting stuff. And she did a SpongeBob face painting, but she went back on stream and she realized she just painted her face yellow and had giant teeth sticking out in the front.
Oh, hello, please.
It's like, oh, this might have been a mistake. Yeah.
Oh no, not breakfast at Tiffany's. Oh my god. So originally the Marvel Comics were only supposed to be a 4-issue miniseries. However, with the success of the toys and the 80s cartoon, it continued and actually took on a life of its own. So the plot from the comics does not line up with whatever you would call a plot from the 80s cartoon. Um, I've not really seen much of the 80s cartoon, unfortunately, just because I'm a 90s kid. I grew up with Beast Wars. So that's like the third mainline series of Transformers was Beast Wars in the mid 90s. Because it was Generation 1, 2, and then Beast Wars, because Generation 2 apparently didn't really take off. Chris McFeely, again, the YouTube channel, he does have a very good video about like some of the different Transformers that they were kind of experimenting with, some of which didn't transform, which obviously were not successful. Like, what the fuck? Are you insane? like, what if half of Optimus Prime was gone? Like, I understand you couldn't think of a name for him, dipshit, but like, what if half the purpose he didn't do it anymore?
I remember a lot from Beast Wars because I was the right age for it when it was online.
Yes.
Like, and I'm hoping that I'll get to meet Rat Trap when I'm in New York because it sounds like that's where he's from.
Oh, the actor?
Yeah, no, just Rat Trap himself.
Oh, just Rat Trap himself.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's still living in Brooklyn. He would be like an old like Brooklyn Jew, like living next door to like Adam Friedland or whatever. Goes to get his newspaper and his bagel every morning, right?
Dude,
Real New York guy.
that's how
I
it
loved
goes.
that show.
Yeah, it was a great show. There was Cheetor. There was
Yep.
The Rhino.
Rhinox.
There was Optimus Prime.
Yep. Gorilla though.
Gorilla.
Also, if for the listeners at home and for you, Jamie, if ever for some reason you want to take a dummy gummy and watch cartoons from the 90s, every single animated Transformers show is available for free on Hasbro's YouTube channel.
Okay.
Like they're just there. Kyle recently watched Beast Wars and then the sequel series Beast Machines, which is a show I remember not liking growing up. It was very weird and I didn't like the toys. And I asked Kyle, I was like, okay, so like as an adult, should I give it a second chance? Because I've rewatched Beast Wars as an adult, and what's really cool is being a full CG show, you have to make the plot good because computers in the 90s are only strong enough to put two guys on screen at any given time.
Yeah.
So it's just like, well, it's the computers aren't going to fucking sell this, and people need to like Rat Trap. People want to meet Rat Trap. That's the important thing. Jamie wants to meet Rat Trap.
Absolutely.
Right?
Give him a slice of cheese.
Excuse me. Yeah, so it had a small cast, but hang on.
Pete's dying over there, but we're making sure we get these episodes out to you guys. So
I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Anyway, again, I've completely lost track of what I was saying, but it's gonna be a very weird episode of me having like my brain just turning off every 3 minutes.
Well, it's good you chose Transformers. It's something that you know well. So.
Yeah, exactly. I still have my one Beast War Transformers left over is Rampage, the giant crab, because it was in a drawer when I moved, and not at my dad's when it burned down. So it just got lucky. That's the only reason I still have it.
I want to watch
But I
that
had a ton of
episode where all of the Beast Wars get stuck in a house fire, and we watch them melt.
Yeah. Get that episode, of course. Right. So first we'll talk, before we move into, so in the early 90s, comic writer Simon Furman began working on what would eventually become Generation 2. It didn't actually have the Generation 2 title. It was retroactively put onto it as the brand moved on. But yeah. So first though, we need to talk a little bit about Generation 1, the 80s cartoon. In the original series, the Transformers' homeworld, Cybertron, was consumed by a war between the heroic Autobots and the trustworthy Decepticons. Optimus Prime, the leader of the Autobots, and his crew attempted to flee the planet at some point during the war. However, they were shot down by Megatron's ship, the Nemesis, and then both of them crash landed on Earth 4 million years ago. The survivors of both ships went into standby mode until the power of Ronald Reagan and trickle-down economics revived them in the 80s. Also, the entire plot of Beast Wars takes place during this 4 million year period because the cast of that show traveled back in time by accident and crash land on Earth like 2-3 million years in the past, which is pretty cool. The show is worth watching. Is one thing I wanted to say earlier. The Beast Wars does hold up because it had, like I was saying, it had to be well written because it was ugly because it was the second full CG show ever made after Reboot, which was the same studio as Mainframe, and they are or were in BC. I think they're still open. I think
Yeah.
Mainframe is still around,
Reboot
doing like
was like Canadian specific one, right?
but yes. So Reboot is Canadian specific, made by Mainframe.
Yeah.
And then there's the second project they worked on as a studio was Beast Wars. So they
Re-
got the job from Hasbro, but it's
right.
Beast Wars is still a Canadian show.
Reboot was very cool. Like for you Americans, like it was basically you were watching sprites inside of a computer, and like the big event of every show basically was someone would load up a game on their computer and it would
Yeah.
appear as a big purple cube descending into their city, and if you were under that cube you would become a character in that game. So you would get to see your favorite like cast of characters just thrown into different worlds. So there would be like the shooter one, there'd be the MMO one, there'd be the role playing one, whatever, fantasy one, and just a cool idea for a show. And I remember really something that like my mom and I would watch that together. We would wait up a little bit
Yeah.
late because I was young whenever it was coming out, and it would air at like
Yeah, we would have been like 4. Like I didn't even live in Montreal when Reboot was on.
I remember it was like a little past bedtime, but we'd stay up late, and my mom would have her little glass of wine, and I'd watch Reboot, and it was a nice time. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you're an adult, you can drink a full bottle of wine and watch Reboot.
No one can stop me. I'd like to see them try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come down the street for your fucking bedtime though. I gotta check in. I gotta
Yeah.
tuck in. I gotta make sure. One cool thing is I didn't know because it's like it back in the day, Zoomer listeners, it was kind of hard to watch an entire show, especially when you were 7 years old. It was kind of hard to watch every episode of a series because it was just sometimes on, and you didn't really know how to keep a schedule because you were 7. When I rewatched Beast Wars on YouTube, it is really cool. The cast of Beast Wars finds the unconscious bodies of the Generation 1 Transformers. That's how they find out they're in the past.
Yeah.
So like T-Rex Megatron fuses his spark, which is the Transformer's soul from the Allspark, which is what you were talking about there, with that of the 80s Megatron. So he takes the spark out of the gun. T-Rex plus gun. He falls into some lava and he comes back and he's a dragon.
That makes sense.
It's kind of like a gun T-Rex if he shoots fire, right?
I guess so. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's more of a pterodactyl in a gun if you think about it because it's got wings, but T-Rex is fairly close.
I'll give him that. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have that toy too. I had so many Beast Wars that all went down. They all died in that barn fire. So, the Generation 2 also begins while the cast of the original series are out cold on Earth for 4 million years. So we do have an episode about this. So we do have a creation myth, like an ancient Transformers episode from years and years and years ago, where I do talk about the 13 Primes and their creators. In the deep past, Primus, the Lord of Light, and Band, and I sent that music video of the Primus in the weird cowboy outfits. It's like I love that fucking instrumental.
Nice.
Yeah. So the Lord of Light and the monotheistic god of the Transformers universe. So at this time in Gen 2, there aren't the 13 primes yet. Is very much as Primus is God. Think of it as when we've done Lord of the Rings episode, like Primus and like Iluvatar are very much the same thing, where it's one god and then he creates like mini gods also, and they all have their own personalities and shit like that. So he created the planet Cybertron as well as the first Cybertronians. Primus gifted the Cybertronians with fragments of his life force, which is the spark. Now, in Generation 2, it wasn't called the spark because the spark was invented in Beast Wars. So it was in the series after that is how that is developed. But retroactively, I'm just going to use the term. I don't know what the fuck I called it in the 80s. Just some other shit. Yeah. And then he also gave them a way of reproducing asexually. So in Generation 2, this is also is explained, how do you make a new Transformer? And listen, dude, I'm going to say, it looks like a lot of fun. Where's the picture that I have here? It's called Budding.
Pornhubcaps.com.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's where that's from. Yeah, exactly. So it is called Budding. And basically, you as a transformer, man or woman, you begin to glow, and then a liquid metal clone of yourself divides out of your body via mitosis. I don't think it looks very fun. Doesn't look that good. You know. And then, so anyway, he gave them the ability to divide themselves up via mitosis, called budding, like I was saying. And then he also like established a population cap. He was like, everybody gets a little fragment of my soul, and I'm the Lord of Light, God of creation. I'm very good. I don't want to spread out too thin. So there's a limited amount of Transformers left of it, like that are going to be bred, and then I'm going to wipe everybody's memory. I'm no longer going to teach them how to do budding anymore. So like where the ace community at, God made you forget what sex is after like you hit your population cap.
Honestly, might be nice, just to be freed from it for a little while, just the constant urge. God, could you help me
Uh,
forget?
yeah, exactly. So, however, at some point during the 4 million years when Optimus and Megatron were in stasis on Earth, the procedure of budding was rediscovered, maybe by accident. But like, as someone who hasn't read the comics, pictures from the comics from G2 are so hard to find as well. I think I want to lore boys canon a little bit here. I think budding was reintroduced into Transformer Society on purpose by some evil force. A little bit of a 4D chess play here. One of the newest newborns was going to be the topic of the rest of the episode after the break, and that is G-Axis. There's a white and green figure I showed you earlier. Here's a picture of him for you right now, and now please enjoy the break. Welcome back from the break, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the ads. Buy it. Or don't. I don't care. You just have to listen to the fucking thing. So G-Axis, from the start, was incredibly powerful. Also, his name, this is very funny. This is, again, from the Chris McFeely channel. So his name is G-Axis. It is because it was a pun on, like, what the writers at Marvel were saying because they were going to, like, end the series. So it's just a like sci-fi name of a guy going like, all right, well, G Axis, like axe the project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's G-Axis basically, but it's spelled Jiaxus. I think normally it's very very difficult. He looks very much like he looks like Judge Dredd. He's got like squat like hamburger head, which is an episode we did as well, like a comic episode we did in the past. There, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
So G-Axis was sorry.
Okay. I just okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Sure.
I see.
Yeah. Sure, man.
Yeah, and Judge Dredd was made because they were having a hair contest, and the Dredd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. God was like Wagwan and was just like wipe the memory of how to dread out your hair up
Yes.
until Judge Dredd. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do Jamaica next week.
Okay.
And trust me, we're gonna get everything right.
Fuck, it's my week next week. I don't want to do Jamaica. I want to do video games.
Yeah. I'm just spend 130 hours in the next 10 days playing through Crimson Desert or whatever the fuck and try and figure out what the hell that's about. I think it was like real estate in Black Desert or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he was cruel and petty. However, over time, he began to learn to control himself. So the newborn Transformers, the second generation of Transformers, because they were past the population threshold, were a little bit weird. Like things were a little bit off about them. Then this will come back to bite them in the ass later on. We'll talk about that. But G-Axis himself was tired of the seemingly unending war between the Autobots and the Decepticons, and he and his newly budded army left Cybertron, seeking to cyberform other planets and create the Cybertronian Empire. With his warship, the Twilight, he went from planet to planet, eradicating alien races that he considered to be evolutionary dead ends. And then an entity known only now by its rank, the Liege Maximo, promoted G-Axis to the rank of Liege Centauro and gave him command of the new army. So the Liege Maximo, which is the big green figure that I have here for YouTube, or if you want to Google it, is quietly pulling the strings here with these newly born second generation Transformers. And his second in command, the commander of his forces, is G-Axis at this point. Okay. Here we go. After waking up and resuming their war for a decade in and around Earth, Optimus and the Autobots left Earth in pursuit of a Decepticon pretender named Bludgeon and the Decepticons that were under his command. So a pretender is one of the newer toys that they had made. A pretender is a special kind of Transformer. who specializes in infiltration. So rather than turn into something mechanical like a car or a boombox or a gun or something like normal that you would see around, pretenders are fully encased in an organic shell that disguises them as the native life on whatever planet they happen to be on. Bludgeon, as you'll see here shortly, fit right in with the humans of Earth because he disguised himself very subtly as a bright orange samurai with a skull face. So
Okay.
just a face in the crowd, right? I also love this early 90s art. Everything is so fucking crazy looking. um right.
Yeah, he's jumping
Okay, so
crotch first with a sword with like pink dust around it. He's got a
yeah, it's like
skull
some
for a face.
Kyle's been looking for the figure. It's funny, I actually saw the figure on Facebook Marketplace for $20 this afternoon. I sent it over to him. The newer
Nice.
figure turns into like a tank. And like the katana that he has like goes like clicks into the cannon or something in tank mode. I don't know, it's pretty cool.
Neat.
I'm just saying, I'd probably be able to pick him out of a crowd. If he was in a lineup and it's just like, and I had whatever mechanical samurai burns all over my body, and the police were just like, "Who did this to you?" And it's just like a bunch of criminals, and there was a skull face robot samurai. I was just like,
That
it
guy.
was him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one. He used the flaming sword to cut my wallet in half.
Yeah.
So, while in pursuit of Bludgeon, Optimus Prime discovered the Cybertronian Empire and came across Jaxus's ship. Jaxus abducted Optimus and his Autobots, including the Dinobot leader Grimlock, and began to explain to them from his perspective as Liege Centauro, the war had been over for millions of years, which is true, right? Like he's been doing his own thing while they were in a coma and then fucking up the planet, basically, right?
Right.
He considered the war to be beneath him. And frankly, the fact that the Autobots and Decepticons were still fighting was embarrassing. He tried to make Optimus see reason. However, Optimus and the other abducted Autobots stole one of Jaxus's ships and escaped. So Optimus is like, I am the ultimate good guy. He's trying to tell me that violence begets violence. Fuck that. Let's get the hell out of here, fellas. I don't want to do that at all. In the fourth Michael Bay movie, the character Lockdown has a very similar motivation, which is pretty cool. That they like went back into the G2 comics and pulled just that into the like a Hollywood film, because he's been sent to Earth by the creators of the Transformers in the movie universe to get Optimus and drag his ass home. Like he's like lamenting at one point when he captures Optimus in the film, he's like lamenting. He's like, the Autobots and Decepticons. He's like, you guys are like little children, and I have to come here and clean this up. And like, if he didn't turn into a scary black Lamborghini, he would be right. Like Optimus and Megatron are having like a shitty divorce and millions have died. And it's just like, no, like Lockdown's completely correct. You guys need to chill the fuck out here.
Yeah, lock
And
it
like,
down.
and at this point in the movie, they think Megatron is dead as well. So he's just there for Optimus.
Damn.
Yeah. So he's only got the one target. And that's another cool plot point they stole from one of the cartoons, is that Megatron is secretly still alive and is like tricking human scientists into making him a new body.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Unfortunately, the fourth movie has about it's like 10 really good ideas all happening at the same time. So it is a very cluttered mess because the creators of the Transformers are back and they sent a mercenary to hunt down Optimus Prime. Megatron's alive and he's using tricked scientists and building him a new body and like a drone army. There's dinosaurs now. What the fuck? What the fuck is happening? What? The CIA has turned against the Transformers as fugitives and are trying to recycle their bodies. It's a 2-hour movie. There's like 6 plots happening all at the same time. Mark Wahlberg's there.
Okay. Plus, you got to fit on all the CGI and the fights and everything too.
Yeah, exactly. There's a Dinobot rampage, which is very cool. They go like
Right.
I think it's in Hong Kong. There's a big battle with like a bunch of robot dinosaurs, which is crazy. And then Optimus suddenly can fly and just rockets off into space at the end of that film.
Okay.
Yeah, look,
Is there a 5?
yeah, there is.
There is a 5. Okay.
That's a film that is so bad. Even me, number one Michael Bay defender. I saw that movie one time when it was new, and I have never watched it again.
Okay.
The toys are cool because transforming knights, great idea. Give Optimus Prime a sword and a shield. Cool. I have a dragon that combines into two. I have two knights that combine into a three-headed dragon. Great figure. I think it's
Right.
very cool.
That is cool.
Terrible film.
Okay.
Despicable media. It's so bad.
Okay.
Anthony Hopkins is in it and is like visibly confused the entire film. It's so funny. Like a 99-year-old Oscar winner, Anthony Hopkins is sitting there talking to Bumblebee. And Mark Wahlberg, which I think is
Oh.
like it's weirder to watch Anthony Hopkins talk to Mark Wahlberg than it is to watch him talk to fucking Bumblebee. I'll be real.
Hello, Carice.
Yeah. It's just like a gun standing in that glass case behind when she walks in the mental hospital. Yeah. So, right. So again, like I was saying there, Jaxus and Lockdown, movie Lockdown, kind of correct. So you can kind of understand their motivations. It's really the execution that makes him a bad guy. So Giaxus managed to hunt down Optimus after he had escaped, finding him and the Autobots that he'd fled with on a planet in the Catord Nebula. Cool. A brutal fight ensued, which ended up being even more violent than expected because Giaxus started to kind of lose control over himself and go more berserk than he normally does, and like being more barbaric. He was being controlled by something called shadow parasites.
Okay.
Back in the 80s and 90s, there were a lot more aliens in Transformers. So it kind of got a little Star Trekky where sometimes Optimus would just go to a planet and there's just like an octopus guy. And like he's just another character there, like while they're kind of traipsing around the universe. It gets very like more episodic in that way. Cause I think again, I've never kept up with the 80s cartoon, but I know they do a lot more like planet hopping.
Okay.
In after the film came out, they leave Earth.
I mean, I can buy aliens if I can buy a car man who.
Optimus is a fucking alien, right? Like, he's not from Earth.
Exactly.
Right? That's one of my favorite things. Is in the first Michael Bay movie. So she is in the second film. RC is like one of the female Transformers characters, and I know there's a line. I've never really fact checked this, but it's got to be real. Where somebody was just like, "Well, why are there no female Transformers in the first Transformers movie?" And Michael Bay apparently was just like, "Well, how do we explain robot gender?" And like I've always been like laughed at that because like I don't know, he turns into a car. I didn't ask questions about that. Like,
Yeah. The first toy for Megatron is like a gun for a dick. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know. Just put a clam there or something.
yeah,
We'll be
exactly.
okay. Yeah.
Sword with a pussy on it. You're just like, yeah, it's female Transformer. There you go. Like a bow and arrow. So these shadow parasites are these kind of like spider-shaped shadows that I guess make you go crazy. So every time I get a chest infection now, I'm actually going to blame the shadow parasites. And I do have a pretty interesting picture here of G-Axis noticing that his shadow is like this big spider from one of the comics here. You can see it kind of like, it's got like ink kind of going into his feet and going up into his body and kind of making him go crazy.
Cool.
Oh, I took the screenshot twice. Here's another picture of G-Axis just sitting in the throne, being a badass. And his little turquoise buddy on the side there is named Rook, who unfortunately I don't think has a toy. So I can't get all three of the characters. This is bullshit.
Damn.
Meh. So Optimus managed to regain control of his thoughts, as did G-Axis, and the two left the planet, and G-Axis ordered his ships to exterminate the remaining parasites. So very much like, it reminded me of Halo 3 when the flood crash on Earth. They like glass the entire area around it. They got back up into space. And he was just like, I don't like that. Get rid of them. The shadow spiders, not good. No bueno.
We can agree on that.
Following this, G-Axis intercepted Megatron and his group of first-generation Decepticons, whom G-Axis had thought had all been destroyed. So now he's just like, hey, whoa, hang on a second here. There's all this outdated crap. Megatron had been turned into a tank at this point, because in the late 80s into the 90s, you can't sell a gun with a penis to children anymore.
Damn.
Because of the goddamn liberals and their regulations. So they changed him into a green and purple tank, which is, yeah, way safer, I guess, right?
Yeah. What's that Christmas movie where he shoots his eye out? It's a Christmas Carol. No, it's not a Christmas
Christmas
Carol.
Story?
Christmas Story,
Chris,
yeah.
no, the Christmas Carol is the one with the Muppets. It's the one
Right.
with Kermit the
The
Frog in it.
Christmas Story.
Yeah.
You'll shoot your eye out. It's just because the kid's looking too close at a robot's penis.
Exactly.
Uh,
So Jaxus encounters Megatron, beats the piss out of him, and leaves him for dead on a moon. However, like I was saying in a lot of other series, the Decepticon leader was not so easily defeated. Having both been rocked by G-Axis and the Cybertronian Empire, Optimus and Megatron forged an uneasy truce to fight their common enemy. So they boys again.
Good.
This is pre-Civil War, we boys. So the combined armies of the Autobots and Decepticons managed to drive back and defeat the Cybertronian forces. And, excuse me, and right at the end, when G-Axis was going to fire nukes at Earth, his ship, the Twilight, was broadsided by the Swarm.
Oh no.
Yeah. So up until this point, I'll show you a picture of it actually as well.
The Swarm is a black mass of dots. I'm not sure what that is at all.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. So up until this point, nothing was known about the Swarm. Optimus had hooked himself up to something called a psychic amplifier to basically travel into the he's doing like a sweat lodge or whatever. He's drinking peyote on Cybertron in the tent there. So he coaxed himself up to the psychic amplifier to send himself to the Transformers spirit realm, or like something like that, or like the Wi-Fi that is within us all. Whatever their version of like of the spirit realm is, be like Bluetooth, I guess. So he travels into the Bluetooth realm and speaks directly to the creation matrix, which I believe at this point predates the Allspark, but it is the same idea.
Okay.
It's before they started to unify and retcon a bunch of bullshit, right?
Gotcha.
It was revealed to him that the Swarm was actually, in quotes, genetically identical to a Transformer and was accidentally created as a byproduct of the rediscovered process of budding reproduction. So this is if you fuck too much, this is going to be the problem. This is why Primus had put a population cap on the Transformers, because once his soul was spread too thin as the Lord of Light and all that is good, there wasn't enough goodness in the universe, and the byproduct that came from this is the Swarm.
Okay.
So it's
Also,
just this
interesting genetically similar. So that means that Transformers have DNA, which means
yeah.
they might have RNA, which means they might have gotten vaccinated.
Oh no. I think Megatron would probably get the one. It would give him a bit of a headache. Then he'd get into Facebook conspiracies.
Right.
But I mean, Optimus is definitely getting vaxxed. He does whatever. He in the movies he works for the CIA, dude. He's probably doing a vaccination drive, right?
Who knows? Yeah.
Sleeves roll up, and then you're just like, okay, there you go. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
Get your flu shots, kiddos. Yeah, so the Swarm itself like breaks down. It's funny, you were saying it's like, okay, so they have DNA, sort of, but it's still like mechanical DNA. So the Swarm itself consumes and breaks down mechanical matter, like down molecule by molecule. It like consumes it completely down to its basic levels, but not organic material. So it only consumes Transformer DNA or
Okay.
whatever the fuck, right? So that's how that works.
Okay.
Whatever. So in the final battle between G-Axis and Optimus Prime, G-Axis once again beats the fuck out of Optimus. He punches his battle mask clean off his face, revealing like mechanical bits and organs underneath. Now, keep in mind, up until this point, Optimus did not have a face. He just had the battle mask. So this being punched off is like a deep wound. It's like having his jaw broken off his face. The first Optimus, I think, that had the battle mask that would close was Optimus from Beast Wars. Optimus Primal. When shit was getting real, his mask would close down. And then they kept that because having a mouth makes him more expressive. So I think in all media after Beast Wars, Optimus has a face. Okay. And like even in the Michael Bay movies, when he's about to fuck some shit up, when you got to do some war crimes, swing, he closes it up.
That's funny. It's like the old Disney like cartoons or whatever, they all have gloves for animation purposes. It's like
Yes.
Optimus had a mask for animation purposes, make it easier. It's like all the old Disney characters, but they're Transformers for animation purposes. Like Mickey Mouse is just completely all blocky and everything, under my face covered.
Here's the panel where G-Axis punches Optimus's mask clean off his face.
If you wonder what that sounds like when you get your mask punched off, it sounds like ska-chow, because that's what it says here.
Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
And here's another cover from one of the comics here where Optimus's body is being consumed. It's a picture of Optimus's body being consumed by the swarm. And you can see he has like ribs and like kind of organs and stuff on the inside. I saw some panels from the fight between G-Axis and Optimus. It is fucking brutal. They're like, it's like hand to hand. Like Optimus is like pulling wires out of his fucking chest and shit when they're getting into a fight. It's pretty crazy. It's you can get away with so much violence when it's a robot because like what are they gonna fucking do? Bleed?
Yeah.
Like no, it's just bits, right? This is like Lego and whatnot. So before he could kill Optimus, G-Axis was attacked by the swarm that had finally managed to devour its way through the hull of the Twilight. So having already lost control of himself, G-Axis could not fight back the swarm. He was entirely consumed and destroyed by the thing that, from like at least from his perspective, that he had accidentally created, because he is one of the new. I mean, the Liege Maximo is actually ultimately responsible for the creation of the swarm because it was just like, guys. Do you remember fucking? Boy, you guys used to fuck all the time.
Yeah.
You should start fucking again. You should fuck me a new army. Do it.
I wouldn't fuck if it made me have a big gooey version of myself pop out of my chest like budding or whatever it was.
No, yeah, I know. The women are so soft and they smell nice. The budding looks terrible.
Yeah, not nice.
Right?
Not nice.
It's just no bueno. Thumbs down on that. Yeah, so G-Axis was consumed by the swarm. I couldn't find this panel. So what I think I'm going to do for the artwork, unless you have a better idea at the end of the show, Jamie, is I'm going to take my G-Axis figure, and I think I'm going to put it in a nice little pose, and then draw the swarm, like Photoshop the swarm, like pulling it to pieces, like do a little kind of like a cultural fusion of practical and digital art, like I do for like the Christmas stuff. I think is what I'm going to do there. I'm not sure because I couldn't find the panel at all. It was so hard to find pictures from the comics. It's crazy, but I mean, like 30-year-old toy comics. Like I guess they just weren't archived properly.
Dude,
Lost media.
Fulfill your true dream and take a picture of yourself and take it in Photoshop and make yourself the same scale as the Transformers. And you can just hang out with your Transformers and put your arm around them.
Take a picture of myself doing this with like my arms out to the side, just like we boys.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a great picture of you, Bobby, and I at one of the bars near us that I have up on my fridge. Every time I see it, it makes me smile because we're all just like cozy in there. I'll just replace you and Bobby with like Optimus and Megatron. So speaking of Optimus fucking things he loves more than getting vaccinated and doing what the government tells him. Optimus loves dying and coming back to life more than Jesus ever did.
Yeah.
Optimus would eventually be consumed by the swarm, but I think because he was also imbued with the creation matrix, he like purified the swarm. This is something that I just couldn't find a ton of information on. I was even looking at it today before I went to the doctor. I was like, okay, so he purifies the swarm. His entire body is broken down to the molecular level, and then the swarm is just like, we're good now, and like rebuild him a new body. I don't know what the body is supposed to look like. I know this is Generation 2 Optimus as a picture of the toy called Laser Optimus Prime, where now he has like speakers on his shoulders for some reason because it's the 90s. But that's like what the figure that came out a couple years ago of like G2 Optimus looks like.
Cool.
Yeah. Where was I? Right. So prior to all of this, the Twilight being consumed, G-Axis being killed, his second in command, the turquoise guy, Rook, had fled the Twilight to report back to the Liege Maximo. He reported that all the Cybertronians, their fleet, the Swarm, and G-Axis were all destroyed. And then it's just like, well, I don't know what to do now. A great line that I took directly from the wiki states, quote, "The Liege Maximo, an ancient and monumental titan, accepted the destruction of G-Axis's forces as merely a minor disruption. Sneering at the Transformers alliance as a fragile thing, the Liege Maximo promised a day of reckoning." So what I find really, really cool is they took this design here of the Liege Maximo. I'm going to post two photos here from the comics. And I'm really, really happy. I don't know how well it's going to come across on camera, but if you look at this comic book art of like this like spiky horned ogre sitting in a throne, they did a really good job, I think, replicating it as this figure. They chose like the weird
Mm.
crown and horns and all the like organic wires coming out of it. He's got like these claw hands and shit. Very, very cool design.
Looks great.
Yeah. So not Jaxus, excuse me, the Liege Maximo. He claimed to be as old as Primus itself, created at the dawn of time, and is the source of all evil in the universe. He very much is just he at this time was being set up to be the Transformers Satan. Eventually, this would become Unicron, so this was retconned out of different timelines.
Right.
But the Liege Maximo, originally in Generation Two, was the ultimate devil. Unfortunately, the comic series was canceled after this cliffhanger. So the first and last time you ever see the Liege Maximo is that page where he's sitting in the throne. That was it.
Ah, too bad. But they revived him or something, right? You were saying?
They do, yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, they do, yeah. So the comic series was canceled after this cliffhanger, and no additional details regarding the Liege Maximo were ever canonized for several years. Not even his name. Liege Maximo is his title. That's why I've been calling him the Liege Maximo this whole time, because Jaxus was the Liege Centauro. And we still don't know his real name. So the writer Simon Furman would eventually explain that the Liege was created at the dawn of time by Primus himself. And I brought up the Iluvatar from Lord of the Rings on purpose, because originally, at least it seems this way, at least as an outsider looking in, the Liege Maximo was very much like a Melkor character, created at the dawn of time, and he was the discordant, the evil, the bad one, the Lord of Lies, the Lord of Death, and like claiming to be the source of all evil and the ancestor of all Decepticons.
Right. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
tale as old as time.
exactly. And much like Melkor in The Lord of the Rings, the Liege Maximo also hungered for power. When Hasbro decided they want to clean up and organize the Transformers lore under what they call the aligned continuity, the title of Liege Maximo was taken and reused for one of the 13 primes. So now it's just his name. And we do have an episode on all these guys, so I'm not getting too much into it. I'm really happy with this figure that they went with the weird 90s ogre, like troll titan design, opposed to the updated version, because the current Liege Maximo is very much like twinkified and is just a mechanical Loki at this point, like Lord of Lies. He's just like skinny mechanical Loki. He's got the cape and the horns and everything, he's based off Tom Hiddleston from the Marvel films. But yeah, that's what I like there. Yeah, and that's it. That would be the villain arc from the Generation 2 of Transformers. I was very inspired by this cool toy I bought, and I had a really good time looking into it. Old 90s comics, love the art, I like how weird it gets, because the show is very milquetoast, very safe, and that whole thing. But yeah, I've been your host, Peter O'Donohue. You can find me at Lore Boys Podcast on Instagram, and you can find my book, The Black Frontier, on Amazon, both linked below. James, you want to tell them about your streams?
Yeah, twitch.tv/LordBoyJames on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have a solid group of folks who are there every week. You know who you are. Come by. We play a bunch of different stuff. Started Control this past week.
Hell yeah.
Get into Crimson Desert at one of these days. If it's good, I can't tell if it's good. Someone tell me if it's good or not. Because it seems
I know we
like,
talked about this on the bonus. I'm so baffled by this game.
They've taken on so much, and it looks good from a lot of the clips that I've seen, but also I can't imagine that it could be that big and have that many features and still be consistently good. But anyways, tell me if it's good or not. I hope it is. But yeah, that's where you can find me. If you want to find Lore Boys Prime, if you want to join Lore Boys Prime, you can join us on Patreon. That'll help us keep the lights on, pay our editors, and all those things. But if you just want to join Lore Boys Prime, as we've always offered, just send us your cars, and we'll turn them into people. Just send them on over, and I promise you, I won't do anything funny. If you listen to those old episodes about me and cars, it's not true.
And it's a different guy. That's a different James Miller. He's hiding in the woods right now, and the people at the airport are looking for him.
It's a different guy. I just send us your cars. We'll turn them into people. We'll send them back, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And I think that constitutes Lore Boys.
Lore Boys.
Out.
out.